Okay, hey team, I hope you're all well. If you cannot tell from the smile on my face and the title of this video, my shelves are in. I am so excited. I cannot tell you how excited I am. Derek left about half an hour ago after fixing these together and building my cases and bolting them to the wall. And I'm very, very excited and I can't wait to get them filmed. I'm limited on time today, but I do want to get started because I'm just too excited. So it probably would be a good thing if I did this in bits, to be honest, because I'll get overwhelmed, I'll get stressed, and it will not work out well for me and this project will be a mess. But we are going to be filling my shelves. I'm super freaking hyped. So I want to just talk you through how these shelves have worked. So right here behind me is the alcove in which my bed used to be. I'm currently sitting on my bed because it's going to have to stay in this room for a portion of time, but that's another story. So in this alcove, I think I want these shelves to be like my fantasy and sci-fi. I'm going to see how that goes on and then make a decision whether or not to add like my thrillers and horrors or whether to do that separately. Then based off of the fantasy shelves, so I'm going to do those first, these are going to be romance. I think I'm going to do romance on this shelf, where you can see the plug at the bottom, on this shelf, and then the shelf in the corner will either be thrillers and horrors or more romance. I'm not sure how this is going to work out. I do read across a variety of genres. I've managed to get most of my middle grade into a TBR cart, which is going to come in this room, but the hardbacks I haven't been able to fit on the TBR cart, so I'm probably going to put those potentially higher up on another shelf somewhere, probably these ones over here. And then I do have some non-fiction as well that I need to fit in somewhere, and then down on the bottom of all of the shelves all the way around the room I'm going to put my graphic novels, manga, etc. So I'm hoping that they will fit on just the bottom shelves. Whether or not that actually works out, I don't know, but we're going to see. And yeah, that is my plan. I do have some extra shelves. These ones, I won't be moving any of the shelves. They're fixed in place now. That's where they're staying because the middle one is just fixed in. That isn't actually a bookcase. I bought the bookcase, the shelf inserts for the 400mm Billy bookcase to put in here because it wasn't wide enough, quite wide enough to fit in a 400mm Billy. So I've just bought the shelves and Derek's fitted them to these shelves. So these will come out, but I want it all to look linear. So I've put them in at the place where I want them, and that's where hopefully they will be staying. These, however, the shelves can come out, and I do need to mess about with them. You can see that some of them aren't like in the right place where I want them to be, but I do have like 3 extra shelves. So if I want to put some more in, I can do, because these are going to be like my romances, etc. I might piss about with these and put a couple of extra shelves in somewhere for the paperbacks and stuff, so that I can fit like 2 extra, you know, an extra section of paperbacks. So I think that's going to be my plan, but we're going to start the project today off with my fantasy shelves. I have brought some of my books in. I left all of my hardbacks in the back room. All of my paperbacks are under my bed, so that's where they're staying for now. But I have brought some of my books in, and these are a mix of everything. They're just my hardbacks, so it's a fantasy, sci-fi, romance, thrillers, horrors, etc. It's a mix of everything, so anything that's not fantasy I'll just chuck on these shelves for the time being and stack them up, and then I'll come back round to those when I'm ready to do those shelves. But for now we're going to be focusing on my fantasy shelves. I don't have a single idea what I'm going to do with this. I think I know the series that I would like to highlight, so therefore would probably go in the middle because they will be seen the most in videos, etc. But other than that, I don't have a process. I was going to do alphabetical for this, but by author, right across the room, just everything alphabetical, mix it all up. But Jade made a very good point that because of my ADHD, it might not work out so well for me when I stay at hers. I love staying in her library, love looking at her shelves, but if I look for too long, I do get very distracted by the fact that the books are all up and down, hardbacks next to paperbacks, a couple of paperbacks aren't the same size, a couple of hardbacks aren't the same size, etc, etc, and it really throws me off. and she said, I don't think you would be able to function with that properly. You like your hardbacks next to each other, your paperbacks next to each other, your paperbacks of a different size next to each other, and she is absolutely correct. So I think that's the process I'm going to go for, but keeping series together. I'm going to do my best to keep authors together where I can as well, but the up and down might piss me off a little bit. So for example, Brandon Sanderson, I do have Trust of the Emerald Sea here in hardback. I also have the Skyward series in hardback, but the rest of my Brandon Sanderson are paperback. I have popped them for the time being in the top of the TBR cart that's got my middle grades in right now. Whether or not they stay there, I don't know. They actually look really, really good and they fit perfectly, so I might just leave them in there, but I'm not sure. But that's the sort of example where I probably wouldn't put them together, and they will probably end up being separated. So it will work for some people and not for others. It's just got to work for me, and that is all that matters. So long as I can find my books and I like how my shelves look. I do apologise for the traffic. I've got the window open. It's really fucking hot in this room. So long as I like how they look and they work for me and I can find what I'm looking for, that's all that matters. That's the only thing that's important to me right now. So we better get a shufti on, because I've got a lot I want to do today before I leave. I don't think I'm going to get the fantasy shelves finished, but I'm just going to basically probably do like a whole bunch of B-reel now, and then B-reel every time, B-roll now, and then come back to you at the end of the video, give you an overview of everything. I'm not going to do like a full shelf tour, because I might eventually do one of those. I think what I want to do is live with the shelves for a while, how I do them today, over the next few days, and then see how I get on, because there's a good chance that things will come off, swap around, change again. So I might wait until like the beginning of next year to do a bookshelf tour maybe. But this sets me up nicely to also do an all of my unread books video as well. Again, might wait until the beginning of next year to do that, because my birthday and Christmas will come up in December, so it almost seems pointless for me to do it now, for there then to be a whole bunch of new books on by the end of the year. So I might wait till then, but we better get a shufti on. My battery's already dying, so let's swap that out and get started, shall we?
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars. Maybe the birds will sing about your heart. Maybe the trees will whisper the word. Maybe the sun will spread your joy to the ones who lost their hope. Fill my head with roses. I can't help but dream away. Standing on a field with you and flowers everywhere. Maybe there is a star with your name. One thing I know is that there should be. There is no one who has a heart as pure, no, not like yours. Dreaming of you. Dreaming of you.
Okay, hello, good morning. I really need to put that back on the wall. It's the light switch. We are back to sort out round 2 of these shelves. I have now done the fantasy shelves. Some of it I didn't get on camera because I was doing this on Wednesday last week, and then it just got to a point where I just couldn't do anymore. My back was in bits, so I stopped. And then I came back yesterday from Andy's after being at his all weekend, and I just decided that I wanted to sort the fantasy shelves out, and then today could be a romance and thriller and horror heavy day. So this is what we're playing with right now. I'm thinking that they're gonna come down, and everything's gonna come down a shelf, and I'm actually gonna put middle grade up there because I don't reach for it as much anymore and I need somewhere to put it. So I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna do. And also I don't want to show you the fancy shelves right now because this could move around in the process of doing this. So I want to see how far I get, because right now I'm confident my thrillers and horrors will fit on there, but I'm not confident my romance is going to fit on here. So I need to see what needs to be done in order to make that work. I may get to a point where I have to start stacking books again, but we'll see what happens with that. Or hiding books behind others that I've already read but I do want to keep, and I'm not that fussy about having facing out on my shelves. So yeah, but that is the plan today. So we better get to it because I've got a lot to do today on top of doing these shelves. The sooner I get these shelves done, the better. My intention is to get these shelves done, have a shower, and then I can film in this room. I don't want to film in this room when it looks like it does. Also, this is the pile we're playing with right now. The majority of this is romance. I literally have, I think, that stack of horrors and thrillers, and that's it, because the rest are all on the shelves waiting to go. So we've got a lot to do today and we need to get to it. So let's get going and see what we can manage, and I'll show you a pan of an overview of how it looks like once we're done. Mission accomplished. Along the top, middle grade. And then we get into the romance down here. I had too many books. I didn't like the stacks. I've brought in the TBR cart. And then we start on the graphic novels and manga along the bottom. Again, up top, middle grade, thrillers and horrors all down here. Like so. And then over here we have the fantasy and sci-fi, also fantasy romance. So along the top here, sci-fi. I don't have a great deal of sci-fi. There is some others like dotted around as well. This isn't in much of a cohesive order, to be honest. I like to have my heights sorted more than anything, rather than having the genres together. So sci-fi hardbacks. I've put J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman here. I love those books. And then we get into some more fantasy, my shorter hardbacks, and then we have taller hardbacks here with some of my favourite series. V. Schwab has got on her own shelf, and then again taller hardbacks. Zodiac has also gotten its own shelf. I'm going to be getting more of these. Obviously books 8 and 8.5 have now come out for the Zodiac Academy, and I do want to get the Penitentiary series. I've forgotten what the name of it is. So I do want to get that series as well, so that it won't take long for that to fill up once I get them. I did want to have Fourth Wing facing out, as if you go back to like the beginning of me sorting this video out, that was the Poppy War facing out. I've changed that now. I wanted the Fourth Wing facing out. It was downstairs when I first started. Then some fantasy romance with my Seb books at the end. This will inevitably move around. I just wanted to get the books on the shelves, to be honest. And then we get into paperbacks. So paperbacks here, I've put the Poppy War series here. I know Yellowface is not fantasy, but I wanted to keep R.F. Kwong together with my Fond-a-Lee special editions, and then more paperbacks. That is pretty much a fantasy romance shelf with some cozy fantasy as well. And then we get back into like sci-fi and dystopia again with the paperbacks. I do have an empty shelf. I've just thrown that on there for the time being because I've got nowhere else to put it. But I do have this empty shelf, which is great news because I've got more manga lying around the house that I'm currently reading. I've got the Tokyo Ghoul series that I've got downstairs in a box, so it's nice to have some space, and you will see that there are like gaps in between and stuff, which is nice. I've never had that before, and I don't have them stacking either, other than the Schwab books, which I don't mind. We do have the Tor novellas here. They have like their own shelves, and then we get into manga. So I've got like Death Note, Solo Leveling on there because they're two of my favourites. Down here we've got Witch Hat Talia, Dreaming Sun. More graphic novels, and then more manga down here. Again, there's plenty of space, so I can move that around. I just wanted to chuck them on. This is like poetry and non-fiction with a few bits of manga. Again, I'm going to move those at some point. But that is poetry and non-fiction. I just chucked it on there because it was an empty shelf, and I'm not sure where else to put it. I think down there is kind of nice. You won't necessarily see it when I'm filming, I don't think. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it looks. I think that they've come out great. I do have some books sat on my bed right now, but they're for my TBR, so well, my potential MBR anyway. So I will be filming that once I've had a shower and got myself done and dusted. But I'm really happy with how this has come out. I'm really glad as well that I don't have like stacks. I think my books look so much better when they're stood up, as they should be. It's just a preference for me personally, but I did start off with the romance shelves. My camera died partway through, but I did start off with the romance shelves with quite a few stacks, and I didn't like how it was looking. So I decided to bring the TBR cart in and stack that up instead. I may end up shifting that around. I would really like to keep the top shelf of the TBR cart for my MBR. So I've got somewhere to put that, because that was downstairs and that's where my MBR used to go. But other than that, I never used it properly. So it's nice to be using that properly, if you like. I just don't know whether I will fit all of those on the TBR cart. And then my second TBR cart is still in the old library at the moment. It's got Brandon Sanderson in the top and then middle grade in the second and third shelf. I will eventually bring that in, and it will go like in this corner here where my stool is right now. I'm going to put it there, but I just can't get access to it right now because the room is filled with other stuff that has been moved about, and books that I've unhauled whilst doing this. So yeah, that is everything. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope you like the shelves. I am planning on doing a shelf tour. I don't think I'll do that though until probably January, because solely on the basis that I will then use that shelf tour in future videos, probably to pick like books and stuff with your recommendations. And my birthday and Christmas will be coming up in December, so I don't want to do it now and then none of those books are included in the shelf tour. So I kind of want to, because I do always get books at birthday and Christmas from friends, on occasion family members, or I get book tokens or Waterstones vouchers so I can go and get my own books. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it's come out. I'm absolutely stoked. And again, I don't want to do the shelf tour and then get to a point where I want to move everything round, so there is a possibility that that could happen. It's very highly likely, so I do want to wait until I'm absolutely 100% happy with it and I'm loving the way it looks. I do tend to move my books around quite a bit because I am very conscious of sun damage to my books. So yeah, but that is the video. I hope you have enjoyed. Chat to me in the comments down below. Have you liked this one? Did you like the renovations video? Also, what is your preferred method with a shelf tour? I'm intrigued because I know some people go through and take off, like, show every single book that they've got on their shelves. But I know others just tend to go along shelf by shelf and kind of explain just very briefly what's on the shelf and why they did it that way. So I'm intrigued to know what your preferred method is, or if you have a different method of a shelf tour, let me know in the comments down below. And I shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.